it's another side that like wants to take more, it wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. We are on Rocky 5. This is episode 8. If you're watching this live, hey, thanks. Welcome to the live show. If you're listening to this on your podcast feed, we'd like to apologize for this episode being a little bit late. We can blame Kate for the late, so to speak. But Kate, why don't you explain what happened?
I got a nice broken wrist last Saturday. Some friends and I go to this holiday downtown ice rink, do some festive things this time of year. It is a little treacherous just because it's small and there's a bunch of kids with those like things to help them on the ice.
Those metal frames type of thing.
They're like plastic. But so this year we're like, well, let's go at night. Maybe there'll be less kids. No, there's even more. But anyway, that's not what happened. Some teenage punk rams into me like from behind. I don't know what happened. I'm skating away. I'm skating away. I'm skating away and boom, somebody knocks into me and I fall down, try and catch myself. And it hurt. And my friend said she heard a crack.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
And I had mittens on. This piece of shit, by the way, I like look up. I was like kind of in shock. Like, wait, what just happened? I kind of look up at him. I think I even reached my arm up. Will you help me up? He didn't say anything. He just looked at me and skated away.
How old do you think this person was?
Maybe like 15, 16. I don't know.
We'll have to know better. Yeah.
So I crawl over the side and get up, and my friends come over to me, one of whom is a nurse, take my mitten off, and she was, it looked all sorts of not right.
Yeah. I got you. I have a hard time with bone breaking. Ugh.
And she was like, that's broken. You need to go to the hospital. So I go to the ER and I'm thinking, maybe it's just dislocated. Like, I don't know, maybe. I was there for like several hours. And finally, I still think, because I was going to go to the Bronco game. That's why I had worked out with you guys. We're going to record an hour earlier than we normally do. And I think I'll be good to go. I'm going to be home. I'm going to record this podcast. I'm going to go to the game. I was there until after 1. And finally, at some point in the night, I messaged you guys like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to record. That's what happened.
Katie, do you want to share what really happened? It's a nice elaborate story, but I think our listeners need to know the truth.
Which is?
Oh, okay. So we're gonna have me share it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, don't you feel sorry for me here?
I do, but it's more of a cautionary tale to the rest of us. So Katie made this story up, but what really happened was she's been having some financial difficulties. Had to take out some loans from some dubious sources. And, the holidays came around. She decided she's going to buy Christmas presents, go to Broncos games. Someone decided to send a message, and they didn't they listened to their boss. They had to enforce payment.
He let his boss do the figuring.
Yeah, he did. He did let his boss do the figuring. A much more obedient collector.
Yeah, if I ever borrow money from that guy, I'm taking it seriously for sure. Message received from our Instagram. Paul Lee one of our listeners wants to say, "Oh man, that's an amazing coincidence. I've broken my 2 bones in my hand, so me and Katie are in sync." Yeah.
Currently?
Yeah.
Oh, Paul, I'm so sorry. Both hands. That's got to be rough. I got to tell you, I am thankful that it's my left because I'm right-handed. When I was telling Ryan, like I've been thinking about him and his wife because doing things one-handed is hard, as you learn.
Yeah, the few listeners that don't know, my wife is an amputee, so she operates with one hand daily for her whole life. So yeah, Paul can't stick around because he's in Morocco right now. There's no Wi-Fi, so he's just popping to say hi.
Oh, thanks, Paul. Enjoy Morocco. I want to hear about it. I love Africa, all of it. So tell me more about it. This is a very costly medical event, because I'm American. You guys wouldn't know anything about that, but this is probably going to be one less vacation because it's about the same cost as about 2 to 3 luxury vacations for me.
If you broke your hand in Canada, you'd be able to go on more vacations.
I know. Yeah,
I was
know.
thinking that the other day because, like, my son a few weeks ago fell and he split his chin open.
Ooh.
And we had to take him into the ER, and we were there for a few hours, and they glued it shut.
Huh.
Yeah, they used this glue instead of stitches, thankfully. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that was a stressful event, but not in my stress was wondering how much that's going to cost or if insurance would cover it or whatever. Came in and out.
Yeah, I didn't learn about American healthcare till you watch TV shows and movies. I remember I watched ER when I was younger. I watched it all the time, and like, oh, I can't afford. I'm like, I kept misunderstanding. Like, what do they talk about these issues with it? Do you have insurance? Do you have like, why you just go to the hospital and get fixed? What's everyone yapping about? Like, what's the deal here? Anyways, yeah.
Well,
right.
There's pros and cons though. Like there's
sure, but I'll take the pro of not being bankrupt.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure since we're the only industrialized nation that works this way, only one.
Oh wow, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. What a standout.
Yeah. You guys are doing great. Okay. There you go. There's the update. Yeah. So that's why this episode was late, the one that you're hearing now. But the good news, bad news is we're recording again next week. So you're going to get back-to-back a little bit quicker to make up for it. We're still going to record originally. We're not doing more recordings, but these two will be closer together. So thanks for waiting, folks. Hopefully we didn't lose too many listeners. Katie, we do have some emails and some YouTube comments we'd like to address. So what do you got there?
Well, Michael heard you. Michael from Screen Nerds podcast. He said,
I called them out. Well, for the record, I called them out. I was kind of testing the waters. Michael, are you still listening? Because you were like one of our big time emailers. And my theory was correct. What did I say?
That he probably didn't like this movie.
He's not interested enough to write in because it's not his thing.
Some people hate this movie so much they don't want to listen to the podcast. The numbers will change. Like Rocky 4 was higher. Rocky 5 kind of dipped a little bit. And I think Rocky Balboa will probably be a bit of a bump again. I think people are more interested. It's just some people just hate this film that much. They don't want to hear anyone talk about it.
But you'd think that they would want to listen into us to kind of poke fun at it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but Michael's taking this seriously because he let's see what he has to say here.
Okay.
Hi, Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. I haven't written recently because Rocky 5 isn't a film I enjoy, so I don't have much to say. However, I'm still keeping track of what y'all are doing as you work through it. I wanted to mention the Sly interview at the F1 race in Las Vegas. F1 has definitely grown in popularity in the US over the last few years, largely due to the Netflix series Drive to Survive. I've not seen that. Have you guys?
I heard it's very good. Objectively, I've heard that's a very good series on Netflix that you don't even have to know. You can go in not knowing a thing about a car. You don't even know how a car works. On Drive to Survive, apparently it's so engaging that's irrelevant. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Okay. That's one reason why there are now 3 races in the U.S., Miami, Austin, Texas, and Las Vegas. Martin Brundle, the guy who interviewed Sly, is a former F1 driver. He conducts grid interviews right before the race, talking to drivers, celebrities, and dignitaries wandering around the track. He's used to interviewing Hollywood figures like Sly. What's funny is that Sly's non-committal response about who he was rooting for is unusual. Most celebrities give a clear answer. Typically, they support the sponsor or driver hosting them for the weekend, or the most popular drivers. Yes, those grid interviews are often close and personal because of the noise on the track, especially during street races like Vegas, where the sound of the city adds to the track noise. If you recall, Sly has experience with open wheel racing in film, specifically the 2001 movie Driven, although that was Indy/CART racing and not F1. They're somewhat similar. That's probably why Sly joked about racing himself. Anyway, keep up the great work. Michael.
I do like how he says we're working our way through it. No, there's not a work. This is an absolute joy and pleasure going through Rocky 5. I'm having a blast. I'm not even just saying that ironically. It's been a lot of fun.
It was my favorite last, not just because I liked Rocky 5, but it was my favorite last podcast we did. Yeah, it's like one of my favorites this time too. It's good podcasting because you could hate podcast it, you could love podcast it, you could do whatever with it.
I agree. The other thing that he brought up was, yes, of course, I know the movie Driven. I saw the movie in the theaters, and Craig and Doug and myself on a side podcast we haven't done it in a few months because it's just we're running out of films. But we cover Sylvester Stallone films that aren't Rambo, that aren't Rocky. It's called Sylvester Stallone Podcast Network Show. You can find it on a standalone feed, or it's on the Last of the Action Heroes Podcast Network as well. But yeah, we covered Driven. So I sent him the link to listen to it. So yes, I'm very aware of that film, and we covered that film. We gave it its due in that review. It's a fun film to talk about. Regarding Sly not saying his favorite. I think I have a theory. One, I think he always just does the underdog. That's his formula. That's his brand to talk about the underdog. And I don't think he probably had a sponsor. I think Sly is the sponsor, meaning he is the celebrity. He doesn't need anyone to sponsor. If he wants to go to these events, hey, I'm Stallone. He wouldn't need a celebrity or a race sponsor. He would just show up and enjoy the event. So that's my guess. But
maybe he didn't have a favorite. He's just
like,
I
don't think it was trying to be political or anything. I
Yeah.
think he was legit like, oh, I don't have a favorite, or I'm just here to have fun and watch.
Yeah. We have some YouTube comments. One from Andy Grew commenting on Adrian's answer to Rocky's question, did we ever leave this place?
Now, Andy is Andrew. Yeah, from the Van Damme podcast. That's right.
I don't know is Talia's now they'll fear you moment. This line and the one from Godfather Part 3 are just horrible, obvious, melodramatic responses to complex questions. The delivery of both lines feels off, overly melodramatic.
Okay, so he feels that it's almost a Talia Shire delivery. He's almost kind of blaming, because I found the response awkward. And I said that the words themselves, I don't know, is actually a fair response to the question. Yo, Adrian, do we ever leave this place? That's a fair question. I kind of like that. Like, we're back. We talked about it. We're back here again. Here we are again. Like, is this a Talia response or is this an Adrian response? The way it's delivered, the words, I don't know. Man, we talked about that where that might have been a better delivery to say, I don't know, Rocky.
Yeah, I don't know. Or just like even kind of like giving a shrug like that and then just turning around. I feel like she had to say it like that because she was at a distance. So right? Like you have to yell it across the street. Yeah. Like you can't do that quiet, I don't know, unless you're like right there, which she wasn't. You either have to do it the way she did it, or you do it non-verbally. Like in retrospect, I'd probably prefer. But yeah.
Which was the original, I think, didn't we?
The work print had no response.
Yeah.
I like how she delivered it. There's something said. There was a lot said in the way she said it.
Yeah, it's not horrible in the sense like it's terrible. Like Andy's leaning towards terrible. He's calling it melodramatic, terrible Talia acting because she does.
I don't agree with him.
Yeah, I don't agree with the bad acting part so much. It seemed like again, just the way it was said was more confusing than bad acting. I just didn't understand the delivery. I'll go with projecting her voice. Maybe she was just like Kyle was saying, she was projecting her voice across the street. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. And he has some more comments on something else.
He does. He's commenting on the Jimmy/Mike character debacle. He says, I think Jimmy and Mike are the same. Sly does that sometimes. Duke is occasionally Tony, depending on the movie. It's part of the Hawks branch of the Stalloneverse.
I love Groove, which is great. I love these comments. Don't get me wrong. I don't want everyone to agree with us. That's not what I want. But he definitely, on this episode, he's not challenging us. He's throwing his side of it. I actually wrote back to his comment. I actually said, I strongly disagree. So my response audibly here is I strongly disagree. I think the Mike Jimmy debacle was a mistake. It was an honest mistake because Duke was a mistake in the sense that he used for the film. But he was saying that Carl Weathers called him Duke on film and he wasn't named yet. So they just said, oh, we'll just call him Duke for the rest of the series. So that was kind of a flub that they ran with. I'm sure Gru knows this, but Stallone knows Jimmy Gambino. He knows him personally. Mm-hmm. Like he knew him before he did the Rock. He didn't meet Jimmy during the Rock. He brought Jimmy in because he knew him. Like, so he knew him as a person before he even did Rocky because of the boxing circuit.
Yep.
So, because Jimmy, he does real boxing stuff. Like that's his bread and butter. That's what he does. He's in the boxing world. So the idea that now this guy that Sly has known for decades or 2.5 decades is brought into this film and credited as Jimmy, which is his real name, is odd.
It's different than using a nickname versus a real name. Like those are interchangeable. Duke and Tony Duke is a nickname. But his name is Tony.
Carl called him Tony in the film. That's what it was. So
his name is Tony.
That's right.
Duke nickname. That makes sense because sometimes you call someone by their nickname and sometimes you call them by their actual name. The Jimmy Mike thing, I think, is just like a mistake.
Yeah, it's a fuck up. It's hard to deny that. Now, if I had to be an apologist here, if I was tasked to come up with an argument,
okay,
the best argument I could think of is that sometimes someone will go by their middle name and then maybe choose to call them by their first name. That's the only way out of it I can think of. But
hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Kyle.
During that time, he went by Mike, which let's just say that was his middle name. But then his parents died, and he can finally I can call myself Jimmy. I've always wanted to call myself Jimmy. So now there we are, creating this storyline again.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm not sure what this next comment.
That was me saying to you, like, actually, Gru, I know he listens. Let me know what he meant, but he gives a comment. Maybe you guys can tell me what he was referring to. I was confused what he was referring to within our episode, is what I'm saying. Like, he's commenting on something we said about Duke.
Duke didn't quite get what he wanted. He almost did. With better writing, he would have. Sorry, Sly. Yeah, what was that in reference to? I wonder.
Can't remember. So we must have said like Duke wanted something. And he's saying Sly wrote it poorly. So I don't remember. I was hoping you guys might remember that. But
Washington Duke is maybe.
Yeah, Washington. Read that again about what George Washington Duke wanted something.
George Washington Duke didn't quite get what he wanted. He almost did. With better writing, he would have. Sorry, Sly.
I think maybe he just like the deal he wanted or something like that.
I wanted to bring that up, see if you guys knew what he might be referring to. So yeah, Gru, just let us clarify what you meant by that, just so we can comment on it better. But
I have to say, there's a lot of Dukes floating around. Like there's Tony Duke,
yes,
there's George Washington Duke, and then Tommy Morrison's ring name is the Duke
in real life.
Yeah, in real life,
because he's the great nephew of John Wayne.
Is he?
Is he really?
Yes, that's why he's called the Duke, because he's the great nephew of John Wayne the Duke.
I didn't know John Wayne was called the Duke.
Yes, that was his nickname.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, Duke, that's like a common masculine nickname.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. John Wayne was masculine. Yeah.
It's also a popular dog name for like a big, strong dog. Duke. Yeah.
That's why Tommy Morrison gave himself the nickname, because of his relationship to John Wayne. Yeah.
No idea. Thanks, Ryan. I learned something.
It's better than some nicknames out there. There's more. So there's more creative ones. There's like George Foreman. I love George Foreman. Good guy. As much as I love George Foreman and really admire him, but that's the shittiest nickname.
Lazy.
Yeah. I don't know if he did it or he was given that, because I think sometimes you get a nickname.
Mason Line Dixon's still the worst one.
Yes, I think that is a bullshit.
I kind of like it. Like, I don't like the character, but I can.
Well, we'll get into.
I like a play on words. Right. We do have one more comment from Eccentric Views.
That's her favorite Italian Australian.
Oh, I meant to go grab.
You know why you got your DVD? Because we've had a postal strike.
You didn't get yours, Ryan?
It's landed. Yeah. No, I got the tracker. So I got the tracker. So for Gino, for you listening, it's arrived in my city, but it's backlogged at this point because it was. Yeah.
Post office was shut down for like what was 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
The government forced them to go back to work
without appeasing any of the demands. Do you mean?
That's right.
They gave them time to work it out. Because like people were saying, like after a week, you got to force them to go back to work, because there's some people who have, it can be like something life-saving in the mail for them. Yeah. There's like really important things that could be in the mail.
Like the director's cut from Gino.
Yes, that is a life-saving.
Sure, but that could be sent via FedEx or something too.
Well,
right?
it could have already been in transit when this happened, right?
You're true. Like, you're right. That's true.
Yeah, I think he just did the normal delivery, which I don't want him to pay for extra. So he didn't use a private service.
Well, Gino.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It looks like professionally done. It's like a legit Blu-ray, DVD, the ultimate cut, the Redux. I guess it has an X. So Gino, thank you. That was so. I love that you put the time and effort into doing it. I love that you sent that to me. I'm very appreciative. So thank you, Gino.
I will echo the same thing when it comes. We'll show it together. Maybe it'll be fun to show it together. Okay.
I forgot that Gino is Eccentric Views. He says, that's a good catch by Kyle. There's no way Rocky would suddenly start pronouncing cojones like that.
One of the only people in Rocky history who ever even picked up on that.
You win an award. He's probably going to win trivia this year.
Yes, true.
The limo scene behind a reshoot makes sense. You can tell because the guy with the dark hair clearly had a haircut since the scene outside the pet shop, even though the scene was supposed to take place immediately after.
Good catch on that, Gino. So I'm looking forward to my Redux. You've got one more comment. Did I not send it to you?
No.
So I thought I sent it. My bad. I don't know who got it. Somebody got it. This is from our favorite wrestler, Hector Canales. He said, I like how Ryan makes fun of Rocky's bad jokes, but just a few minutes earlier, he told the USB joke, which I actually laughed at. That's when I forget the joke was.
I don't remember.
It was an HDMI joke or something like that. The HDMI joke it was a stupid
dad
joke.
Jokes.
I love dad jokes. Okay. I guess dad jokes are pretty funny when you're a dad over 40. Agreed. Now he has a comment here. As for the Mike Jimmy, I love it. I love how the Mike Jimmy has become a thing. Maybe it's similar to what happened with Tony Burton, where Carl Weathers accidentally called him by his real name and they left it in the movie. Either way, it's odd that they tried so hard to take it back to the first movie, but forgot about that small detail. Yeah, the person's name.
You think Jimmy, the real Jimmy, would know
Right.
what his name was in the film? He's like, hey, wait a minute, guys. I was reading the script and I noticed.
His name wasn't said in the film. That's the problem. I don't think he was ever referred to by name in the film.
How do we know it's Mike then in the film?
They
And
say
the
Mike
film-
in the first one.
Yeah. Your man Michael says I can't get in my locker anymore.
That's right. And he's credited as Mike in Rocky, the first film. In Rocky 5, it says Jimmy, played by Jimmy Gambino.
Even in the script, though, they show the characters' names.
I have another theory. As we know, Sly writes on the spot. I think he gave Jimmy his lines on the spot. I don't think Jimmy had a script.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
There's no lines that he memorized in his trailers. So here's Sly just saying, hey, Jimmy, we're going to have you call Tommy to the ring.
Yeah.
And so the script people were just like, okay, well, it's Jimmy. Who put the credits together? Did they know he was calling him Jimmy by character, Jimmy by name? They never underestimate not the stupidity of people, but just these people work on a multitude of different movies and sets. He goes on to say, or maybe Mike became Gazzo's new collector after Paulie left. When Gazzo and his driver were taken out by a second-rate rival loan shark, Mike feared he'd be next. So he went to the cops, sang like a bird, and was given a new identity, only to return to the gym because he didn't like the new life the feds gave him as a shaggy-haired homeless man.
How did I not see that?
We kind
I
of
love
pondered the same about the
Second life,
witness,
or alternate
witness
life,
protection situation.
Send us your theories, folks. 'Cause- but in the real world, I think what happened, there was no written script for his lines. Thus, his character was never named on paper. There's only one person. You are in charge of putting together the names of the speaking parts with the character's name on film. Person's like, I don't know his name, but it's Jimmy. Somebody did it. Like somebody wrote Jimmy. It's on the title. You'll see it at the end of the credits. It says Jimmy.
Jimmy plays Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a number of scenarios where people were probably afraid to go to Sly because he's such a high-powered big deal.
Well, speaking of
Alrighty.
high-powered big deals, you ready for trivia?
Oh dear. All right.
Finish the joke. Finish the joke. Knock, knock. Who's there? Madame who? Finish the joke. I can tell by your guys' responses, so I think we're 1 for 1 there. Okay.
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, really?
Really?
Okay. Boy, I think we're
Wow.
going to catch up to Katie. We might be able to catch up.
I
Yeah,
can
you guys-
finally get her now. I can finally get. I'm tied with her. I've not been able to get ahead of her. She's been just clinging to life.
I'm really upset with myself. Plus, I am on drugs.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
No,
Katie, you better not get addicted to opiates. I'm like
That's
half
right.
serious here.
In
no.
fact,
Actually, I have a
Right.
beef with that because they're so goddamn stingy. This was my last one. I'm gonna be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're so stingy because they're afraid of
They ruin your
like, getting
life.
sued.
Yeah.
gotta come to
I'm-
Canada.
They're cracking down on opiates here too.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, it's like the last decade or so, last 10, 15 years, like it's
Mhm.
been a real epidemic. So they're really, they do not
Yeah.
want people getting hooked on that.
Oh, okay.
Well, my body is not sensitive to drugs and they don't listen to me. I'm like, if you normally give someone a 5, give me a 10. They won't. They give me 5s and only a few of them. I'm
Yeah.
like,
All right. So that was the first question. What was it again?
Madame,
That's right.
joke.
Who is dressed as Santa? Who is dressed as Santa? Which is, at the time of this recording, by the time this comes out, Christmas will come and go. But Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy New Year. But the time of this recording, we're still a few days to Christmas. So it's very apropos. Who is dressed as Santa? Now, for bonus marks, who is dressed as Santa in part 3?
Do we get bonus points? Because I need them.
No,
I need them.
no.
Oh.
Again, if we all get that answer,
We all
everyone
know
knows
it. Yeah.
Mickey, that's right. Who says, quote, I'm better than Balboa ever was?
Oh God.
Bonus points if you can say it like.
I bet Balboa ever was.
There you go. Bonus point. There you go. Who did Rocky say a fighter's best friend is? What nickname does the press give Tommy?
Honestly, I love this nickname.
There is more than one.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen the answers, as course. You guys believe me. I haven't seen. My guess is the one that we are all probably thinking about.
You guys, I'm really struggling. I'm still trying to recall the joke. Maybe it'll be in the scene.
No,
Oh, it's already happened.
It's
Like,
already
Dang
happened.
it.
Now, before
Yeah.
we get going, I wanted to show you guys something. Speaking of gifts in the mail, I did get a gift in the mail, and I want to give a shout out to Jerry Scullion, one of our listeners.
Oh.
He's listened to the show before Kyle was even a co-host on the Going the Distance.
Ooh.
He's been a listener since
Veteran.
Ruben days. I don't know if he still listens, but he follows the social medias and follows me everywhere. But anyways, so he sent me his own. It is the unofficial. He put that on there just because. I'll say this very gently. because he's a friend of the show. There's another artist who's a friend of the show. He is the official art person for MGM and Rocky, but which is fine. But the way I look at it, there's so many people that create Star Wars art, Harry Potter art. He does the same. So Jerry does the same thing. He's just a ham and egger like me, right? He's just a
He's
ham
not
and
like
egger.
making money off it though, right?
Not really. Like you can buy it, which is I don't care. To me, the world's a big tent. If you have something you want to share and people are willing to give you a couple bucks for it, I personally don't care. Go out and get what you're worth, right? People will pay you what you're worth. If they don't want to pay you, they won't. You know, you can make something. Anyways, I say all that. He sent me a coloring book. So he made his own coloring book.
Oh, I love that's fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun too. So it's called the Unofficial Rocky Coloring Book. It's 32 pictures that you get to color. I'll show you some of the examples here. I think the drawings, obviously, he did. Go to his website called moviepopcorn.com. There you go. So check out his site, moviepopcorn.com. This is Jerry. Oh, first, there was a note. Hey, Ryan, I'm very interested in your thoughts on the coloring book. Enjoy. Jerry. And he also sent me some swag, Shamrock Meat sticker.
That's so fun.
I love that. That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah. And then he sent me a bicentennial super fight Apollo Creed.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I am too. That's amazing.
And then here we go. Here's the coloring book. So here's the coloring book.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Who's the guy on the left?
That's like
I think it's just the announcer. Got it.
Got
the microphone.
Oh, that's awesome. Show us some of the pictures.
Absolutely. So their pictures are
Madame Dupont there.
That's awesome. I don't think so. He does go through the film. So he goes through like the first film.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Okay. You get the color Apollo, whatever color you want, and then you have here's like a third film.
Ooh, that's good.
He's got the Rocky statue there, and he goes to see if there's the fourth film.
Ooh, that's a good one. I love that.
Yeah, well, never mind. Yeah.
Love it.
Oh, these are great pictures.
Ooh, yeah, they are.
There's little captions. So right here, like he's fighting Drago. He's got like little captions here. Rocky's chopping the Russian down. You know, I love that.
Are they thick pages so that if you colored with marker?
I would recommend putting paper to protect. They're pretty thick. It's not thin. It's pretty. Yes, it's standard coloring paper. So pencil crayons are not an issue, but if you use a wet marker, maybe photocopy it before you color it. You know, then you can. And then here we go. Part 5.
Oh, nice. How fun. I think that's awesome for a couple of reasons. But one, I love an adult coloring book. And that's very unique. I've never seen a Rocky coloring book before.
Yeah,
good job, Jer.
I think it's great. I don't think there's a coloring book done by MGM anyway. So here you go. I think the Rocky world's a big tent. I think people can share their talents however they see fit. But that's just me. That looks fantastic. Thank you so much. More importantly, it's an awesome gift. And yes, I'm going to give it to my daughter to color. She's the color in our family. So she will color, and I'll show you some of her products. She's really good at it. So I'll show that in another episode.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. All right, Rocky trivia. Rocco, he's actually watching us on Instagram. I'm going to ask him a quick question here. Rocco, can I tell the gang and our listeners something about what we just did, what you asked me to do? If you give me permission, I would like to announce it. If not, that's fine. Okay, there we go. A lot of stuff. Let's get to the film. I hope Rocco says yes.
You guys just keep going. I'm just going to step out for a second.
Yeah, no worries. Where we last left off, Tommy, of course, was showing his... Oh, I can't share it. Oh, no, I'll wait till Kyle comes out. Okay, thanks, Rocco. Okay, he told me to wait a while back, so now I'm allowed to. Okay. Where we last left off, Rocky and Tommy were in the ring side, and Tommy's showing what he's got. He beat up that sparring partner really badly.
I don't think you listen too good. But you fight and you brawl like you was a street fighter, and I know something about that, but this is... Well, boxing, this ain't no mugging, you know.
I'm sorry, but I know I can do it all.
Yeah? Well, not on this date, okay?
That's it?
I do love that little hand flip he does with the hat there.
The hat, yes, I love it.
Did we talk about last episode? I can't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, so I do love that little hand flip. That's good to do. I wonder if Sly, did he practice? Is it something he's always been able to do, or...
He wanted to showcase. I mean, that is a cool trick. I couldn't do it.
Or maybe that was take 50.
It probably was, yeah.
But I do like that. I do. So Rocky says, "Hey man, that's good that you're a good boxer. You're a street brawler. I know stuff about that. I fought in these same streets that we see outside this building." And Tommy's like, "That's it? Yeah, that's it.
Not on this date. That's a specific way of. We wouldn't say that. We would say not today.
Yeah, not today or not at this time. But you're right. That's a very Rockyism way of saying something. Okay, Kyle's back. You good? Okay, so we have an announcement. Rocco gave me the permission to announce this. Rocco is doing, or is near done, if he's not done already, just like we've been reading out of our Rocky trivia book for the Rocky franchise. Rocco has put together the Rambo version of this.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, I would be not very good at that.
I would be good at it. Now,
Yeah, you would definitely win that one.
Mhm.
Oh, I
For
say
sure.
this because if you happen to listen to this show, you know that I've already completed It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast. So if you didn't know this, I've actually done a whole podcast series on the Rambo series, which I love. What I'm going to do, though, is I am going to invite people for bonus episodes to play Rambo with me, but there'll be like one episode or maybe 2 episodes per film because there's probably still a lot of questions. So it's a way to discuss the Rambo films again. I'll have my guest co-hosts watch that film again and then come on and play with me. It's going to be me versus my guest co-host. And we'll tally at the end. For example, like Katie and or Kyle, I'll tell you guys, I want you to watch First Blood again. And then we'll do a trivia together. So the It's a Long Road, the Rambo series podcast will have a resurgence of sorts because of the trivia book. So it won't be a scene by scene again. It'll just be my guest co-host will talk about their feelings on the Rambo franchise, the Rambo film we're covering with the trivia, but we'll get to play trivia again. I can't wait to buy Rocco's book. Secondly, he asked me to write the foreword.
Oh, I love that.
That's cool.
Did you already do that, Ryan?
Yeah, it's already done.
Oh, what an honor.
I was totally, I know I'm getting teary-eyed. It was a real honor. I couldn't believe I've never been asked of anything. I'm just a silly nobody. I really
No, you get asked all the time. Weren't you on a freaking documentary?
Well, it hasn't been released yet. I don't know if my footage has been cut out yet. It could be very well the cutting room floor when it gets released. Anyways, thank you, Rocco. Very sweet of you. And again, when that book comes out, we'll plug it hard, and I will have people come on the Rambo podcast again, and we'll answer trivia and talk Rambo. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of documentary, this is a quick little side note. Remember the Round 14 guys? I didn't clip it this time to save time. They got me again. I'm not even joking. This is the 3rd time. So they had a guest on their show, John Messina. Okay. I interviewed John Messina. In fact, John Messina actually asked to come on my show years ago when he did Fight Story Part 1. He's now released Fight Story Part 2, which is a wonderful series of people who basically have had hardships in their life, and the Rocky films have helped them. The Rocky theme has helped them get through these hard struggles in their life, right? So he's had enough stories where he's now been able to do 3 films worth of stories, but he did say that Fight Story 3 was, it cost money to make the documentary stuff. But anyways, so when the hosts from the Round 14 podcast were at Rocky Day in 2023, John Messina was able to interview Tony. So Tony's in the documentary, right? He's in the documentary, and then he's like, "Oh, but my buddy's not here." Like he wasn't around. Rick wasn't around, and so Rick was able to submit his own video to John that he put in the film. That's okay. I'm not saying John Messina had asked me. I'm just saying, I'm telling you guys, after 500 times getting hit in the ring, it starts to sting after a while. So anyways, congratulations to now Tony and Rick.
Had you been at Rocky Day? I mean, that was one of those things.
But
Tony happened to be at Rocky Day.
Funny. Like, that's the luck. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's hilarious luck. I love it. Good for them. Okay. I truly laughed when John said that, yeah, you guys were in my film. They announced it on their show. I was like, that's next is going to be Sly. Sly's going to be on their podcast. Watch. So,
You were talking about revisiting the Rambo movies in your podcast. What about Frank's Bourbon?
Oh, don't even get me started.
Well, are you still gonna? Didn't you mention you're still gonna have people
drinking? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is Jack from the Drunk Bod podcast wanted to send me the alcohol, but you can't send across borders in the mail.
You can't.
No, we have a workaround that if I do a trip to Philly, he's going to send the bottle to Doug, and Doug will give it to me. I'm allowed to take it across the border, but you can't mail it across the border. I'm allowed to hand carry it across the border. You just pay the taxes on it or something like that. I feel like we had a lot to catch up on. Okay, here we go. Back to the film. So yeah, Kyle, you just missed the part where Rocky told Tommy, not on this date for training.
I Hey, look, I gotta work with these kids here. You guys get it.
But what are you doing coming in here and jumping on Benson? You don't know this guy. Why don't you break his ribs or something? You come in here like you're some great white tornado hope or something, unloading on this guy. You don't know who Benson is, where he had to come from, huh? Or you hit his ribs or something, and you return him into an invalid? You know, you got family to support, guys. You can't hit people like this, you know. Think about something. Show the guys some respect, you know.
Why did they not use that? That was way better.
I didn't like it personally.
Okay, well, it's first year, Katie. Why did you like it?
I liked it because he was very angry and brought up why he was angry. He could have actually hurt that kid. That man has a family. You could have made him an invalid by going off half-cocked and not listening. And then it makes more sense why, no, I'm not going to train you. That's why I liked it.
Those are good points. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The actual point Rocky made was an excellent point. If they did another take of it, he delivered it differently. I would for sure want that in there. They've cut out a lot of scenes in this movie where Rocky kind of goes full R word type of thing, but just like it was weird to see him like that. Or he's like, "You got to hit him in the ribs and make him an invalid," or something like that. And I'm like, that sounded weird. I gave me like a weird vibe, and that's why I didn't like it.
The delivery was off. Yeah, that was a different alternate take or whatever. So of course the his emotions doesn't quite fit in how he is here. So it's two different takes going on here. But yeah, he's mad. He's showing further anger at Tommy. Like, what? You weren't listening to me. You could have hurt this guy. You're a loose cannon. I don't want to be involved with this. You're too dangerous.
And also like Great White Hope.
Great White Tornado.
He also said hope too.
Oh, did he? Oh,
a Great White Hope tornado. Like that's another thing. Like it was like delivered weird.
Fair enough. A new scene there. I love these work print scenes. There's some really good ones.
There's a movie out there, if you guys are interested, called Great White Hype.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
The satirical movie. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
How about you trying to manage me? Manage? Yeah. Unless you think I ain't got nothing going. Nothing.
So did he already ask to be trained? Now is he asking?
Yeah.
Training and managing are maybe a little different.
But Mickey was both. Is that what we decided that Mickey did?
Yeah,
both?
we did. Yeah.
So what was Duke to Apollo?
Probably both as well. Apollo, though, really kind of managed himself to a large degree.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I think Duke was mostly just training, but probably got involved in some managing too. Like it was probably a little.
So Tommy's kind of saying, "Fine, somebody else can train me, or I can train myself." But can you manage me? Can you? Does that like help you set up fights? I guess
that's just another roundabout way of asking to be trained. I think at the end of the day, but
it is odd because if somebody says no, why would Rocky say no to training?
Yeah, I'll manage you.
Yeah,
yeah. I think Tommy's approach to things, as you could see so far in the film, is he just wears you down. He'll just keep coming at you and asking you and like badgering you until you say yes. Because it just shows how hungry he is. Like he went all the way to Philly. The only reason he's in Philly and not, some other city or back home in Oklahoma is because Rocky's there. He's not going to give up at the first no or the second no or the 10th no.
The man kept coming after you.
Exactly. We don't need that kind of man in our lives, Ryan.
No, we don't. Do you remember his response here? What he says here?
Manage.
Something about Mickey.
Gentlemen who own this place.
That was
the manager. I was always just the
manager one. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. There you go. We don't have to show the scene. There we go.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, you got a lot going. You got a lot of tools, but I ain't no manager. I ain't never been manager. The gentleman that owned this place, that was a manager. But me, I was always the managed guy. Hey, look. Good luck, all right?
Because he's such a nice guy. He's like, look, I've said no to you. Rocky doesn't like to say no to people. He's a helpful personality. He's actually helping people right now. That's the irony here. He's actually, like he said, I got to train with these kids. I'm actually working with people. He recognizes it to some degree. He's not being a hypocrite, but he's like, not no to training or managing because I'm doing that in the gym, but I'm actually saying no to you. He kind of feels bad, does that shoulder shrug. Like,
Rocky
but good luck.
Is kind of for the most part, a bit of a doormat. Despite being an intimidating figure at the same time, but he's either a doormat or he like explodes on you. Like there's like not a lot of middle ground with him.
No, that's fair. Well, that's what we're seeing for sure. All right, so he tells Tommy, "Good luck," and he goes back to training.
All right, guys, let's go. Come on, move around. That's it. Nice.
Why couldn't he be wearing a tank top here, or at least a tight t-shirt? Why has he got to wear that bulky sweatshirt? God.
Tommy is wearing a tank top. What are you
He's
talking about?
talking about Stallone.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
This really parallels the first film where Rocky wants to be trained by Mickey. Mickey knows Rocky has potential, but is still not giving him the chance, though for different reasons. There's a bit of an echo to the first film. Even like
Absolutely.
Mickey's up on the ring saying this to Rocky, and Rocky like walks away. Like this exact scenery here where he's hitting the bag. This is exactly the same as, do you want to know? No, you don't want to know. I'm going to tell you.
I want to know.
That's right. You had the talent to become a great fighter, but said that. And that's what he's sort of, in a nice way, Rocky's saying, look, I can see that you got the tools, but instead of that, you're a loose cannon. You're angry in the ring. I don't want to deal with you. So they have their different reasons why they're not training, even though they see potential. But you're right. It's the exact same. And Mickey watched Rocky leave the ring, leave the gym the same way. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's done on purpose, but I didn't quite nail that similarity. So that's awesome. Yeah. Of course, Tommy punches the bag very heavily. Is that Rocky reacting to the power punch? Is that what that is? Because he saw it. He does kind of wipes his brows. Like, is he seeing maybe an opportunity to walk out the door as well? Like, oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I could hone that guy in. Because he does obviously agree later. So is that already sinking in a little bit here?
Yeah, I think it shows that he's conflicted.
That's the right word. He's conflicted. He's not even certain he agrees with himself. Okay.
No. And it's like, I think Mickey to some degree was conflicted with Rocky too. Mickey came from a much tougher, gruffer, nastier time. Mickey's been through some shit Rocky hasn't, so he's a lot nastier, and just maybe that's just personality profile too.
All right, you guys, come on. No cheap shots. Move it around.
What is a cheap shot? What is
a cheap shot's like if you know, maybe like a liver, you can do a liver, like a kidney punch or like something that's not really allowed is a cheap shot. It's funny, like the way he said that, you could tell he's sad. He doesn't want to be saying that to them. Like he's not motivated to be doing what he's doing right there. Like he's going through the motions of saying no cheap shots, you know, move it around. Really shows you he's bothered by that interaction.
Here's Robert. Cold. Even though it's a very bulky, big sweater that he's wearing.
Yeah, it looks pretty chilly out though. Like everyone
90s sweaters, early 90s, you know?
Yeah,
like
I love this sweater. Yeah.
Wait, does he have a collared shirt under that sweater?
Yes, he does.
No one in that neighborhood going to that school would wear a collared shirt under a sweater, right? He's still kind of not getting the message that he needs to try and fit in a little.
He's a dork. Maybe. He's a dork.
Yeah.
He deserves to be bullied. This is where shaming and bullying works.
Shaming and bullying. He's a yuppie.
Yeah, like to him, it's just natural to wear something like that.
Conform. You will conform.
Conform or be cast out is
right.
It's a band once said.
Which band was that?
That was Rush Subdivisions.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Are they a Canadian band?
Yeah, Rush is Canadian.
They suck.
It talks about how boring the Subdivision talks about how boring the suburbs are.
Oh,
like
well, that's true.
Falling on the edges of the city, geometric order, an insulated border.
Oh, okay.
They're very talented musicians, Katie. But I always say this about Rush. They're very good at playing their instruments. What they compose, I don't enjoy.
I concur. You either like or don't.
I think that's fair, Ryan, because you show respect to them as musicians, but they're not everyone's cup of tea, which is totally fine.
And that goes for every band too. But some bands actually just suck, and their music sucks. But like
if I started a band, that band would be objectively bad.
I can't sing. I can't sing, and I would sing terribly. Yes.
How you doing? Cold? You look cold. I guess that has something to do with the weather.
That's I love that comeback. Great for him to say it like that. I guess that has something to do with the weather. I think that's great.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot.
But it shows how strapped for cash Rocky and Adrian really are. If my son had his coat stolen, I would find another coat for him.
Is this the same day that it was stolen?
I know. I kind of wondered if it was the same day.
Because he was at supper time talking about how his coat got taken. That's at the end of the day. So, and this is like during the day. This is like it's light out.
Did we already see that supper scene? Have we already seen it?
I thought so.
It's coming up later.
Oh, maybe I'm mixed up. I could be mixed up on this.
I think it's the same day.
Yeah, it's the same day. He hasn't gone home yet.
Like, remember how we got the question wrong about who Tommy's friend was? And then I remember listening to that in the podcast and being like, oh, he said it right there. I'm pretty sure the supper scene already happened.
Okay.
No, because he hasn't brought Tommy home yet. Clearly, they just.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Never
mind. I'm all confused.
Because
the reason
I do
why
think
it seems odd is because when he got the jacket taken, it looked like he was leaving the day of school, like school had ended. But you could argue it was just recess time or lunchtime.
No, you guys are right.
Now it's the end of the day, and Jules coming up to say, "Hey, now you're walking home from school. Those guys were a little bit too rough on you. I want to make up to you."
Here, take my coat. No thanks.
What a gentleman she
Where's
is.
your boyfriend?
Yeah, it was kind of nice of her to do that. She's like, "I'm from Philly. I can handle this cold. I'm a little bit more used to it. You're from wherever."
He's also from Philly.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say.
He's probably from like the suburbs.
The weather's better in the rich areas.
Yeah.
Okay, when she says take the coat, I just think of when Rocky's shaking down Bob on the docks. He's like, take the coat. Take the coat. It's worth $70, $80.
$78. Yeah, the way he says it. Imagine she said that too. Like, it might not be worth $78, but it'll keep
Him, forget it. He ain't got no manners.
All right, so she's already moved on from Chicky. She's like, I'm Jewel, if you want to know. There you go.
She's playing with her hair.
Yeah, she's brushing her hair.
Herding type of move. I'm no expert on this. If only we had a female to speak to.
Yeah, Katie, is that how you do it? Do you brush your hair recording?
I think it's an unconscious thing. Male guest hosts on my show, like when I'm watching, either Kurt Russell or Patrick Swayze be delicious on screen, and I'll be like, oh, but I'm unaware that I'm doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never noticed you brush your hair when you co-host with me and Kyle. That's odd. That's weird.
Well, I probably do, because if I'm watching Dolph Lundgren or Sly.
Fair enough. Yeah, so she brushes her hair. I'm Jewel, if you want to know.
I liked Jewel when I saw this as a young boy, like I don't know, 10 or 11 or something. Like
I thought she was cute too. Even when I first saw when I was 15, so I'm about their age in this film. She's probably 14, 13. I remember thinking as a 15-year-old boy seeing her on screen, it's like she has that look that we're like, I would date a girl like her back when I was a teenager.
She has good quality hair.
Yeah, it's great hair. Yeah,
like it's a nice, healthy quality hair. But she says he ain't got no manners. Who else says that?
I don't know, but I found that really trashy when she said that.
Weird.
Like, it made me cringe a bit.
It is supposed to show that she's from a certain neighborhood.
Yeah, like she sounds kind of trashy a little bit.
Yeah.
Like the way she talks and stuff. Like she really portrays someone.
It's purposeful.
Yeah.
Who's it supposed to be though? Are you saying it's supposed to be something? Is it mimicking?
No, doesn't Rocky say at some point in one of these movies about manners? Yeah,
in Rocky
2. Yeah,
the commercial.
He ain't got no manners. It reminds me a bit of like Fran Drescher when she played like the nanny. Like that's kind of like something she would have said.
Oh.
P.S. Love her. Love.
I like normal talking to her. I
love her
voice. I don't like the voice effect. Or maybe I'm thinking the Friends girl.
Janice.
They're similar. Yeah. They're similar.
Yeah, very similar. Okay.
Very queensy.
Chandler Bing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. They were good together. Chandler, but I think it was the voice. I'm with Chandler. That it's like, why do you have to talk this way? Other than that, you're not bad, but you're so.
No, she's very attractive.
She is attractive, of course. Yeah.
If you want to know, I'm Robert. I've been living here about 6 years now. It ain't Disneyland. You been to Disneyland?
So she's been living there for 6 years. So
maybe she's from Queens.
Maybe there should be a prequel called Jewel, the backstory.
Yeah, Jewel, the prequel, not about the folk singer would be the subtitle.
No, everyone will go to it thinking it's about Jewel because Jewel, the folk singer, has an interesting backstory.
Yeah, she was she homeless, living in a van or something like that? Or
well, kind of. Jewel actually grew up Mormon in her really young years.
That's what it was.
She was born in Utah, but she actually grew up in like really rural Alaska. Like she didn't have like indoor plumbing or anything like that.
Oh,
I don't know.
Wow.
Interesting life.
Did a plumbing leak?
Yeah, probably. But yeah, did Jewel come from like maybe a middle class family who felt?
I think we're led to believe that she's trying to relate with Robert. Like, I'm not from here. I'm not a Philly native necessarily. I spent the first 8 years of my life somewhere else too. So that's what she's trying to show. I think a little bit like I'm not necessarily like all these other people too. She's trying to relate with them a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Disneyland? And of course, the classic.
Yeah, so
line.
she was never like Robert, that's for sure.
No.
Like, you may have fallen from grace, but the fall is definitely not as big.
She has a creepy uncle. That's her background. You know, she has a creepy uncle.
Oh yeah,
Like,
probably.
Oh yeah.
I have not been to Disneyland,
Yeah, same.
and I have zero desire to go. Even as a kid, I was like, no thanks.
I've been to Disney World and Disneyland when I was a kid, and Disney World when I was about their age, actually. And then me and Becky have been twice.
Well, I didn't know that the Republicans had so much.
Okay, you guys
excess
wanna-
Oh,
money.
excuse me, Miss 5 times a year vacation to Iceland or wherever the hell.
Well, that's
we
now.
never had
No, no.
yeah, we never had enough. Like, I didn't grow up super poor, but like we didn't have like Disneyland money. My sister's in-laws, they went to Disney World. They're from Ontario, and they didn't go with the kids. It's just the parents went to Disney World.
That's hilarious.
And they would phone and be like, man, we're having a great time down here.
Oh my god! Like the kids wanted to go, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. No.
That's so funny.
Becky and I first went when we were married. When we first got married, really quickly, my 2 boys that were from the first marriage, of course, now Becky's the new stepmom type thing, and the boys were 11 and 12 at the time, so there was a way to kind of a bonding experience. Like, hey, your father's remarried, but life can be fun, and so we went to Disneyland.
That was your bribing them. Like, hey, there's a
no, they love Becky. No, they always.
I'm
love
kidding.
Becky.
I'm kidding.
Yeah. But no, that was just a way to like a new adventure to our marriage, and then we went again a few years later and took my stepson. So yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. I actually, funny enough, Katie, I have no desire to go now. Becky and I have talked about it. It's so much more crowded. It's even the last 10 years. It's just.
Oh, maybe back in the day it would have been nice, like in the 80s or something.
The last time we went was 2010 and 2014, I think. But even 10 years,
you have to have spreadsheets and apps and stuff in order to make, and that's.
Well, we did that
stressful.
the second time. It works. You pay for this app of when to go, at what time, and where. It works. Yes.
Yeah, you have to make reservations. Yep. I'm like, ugh, that sounds terrible. We went to listeners, anybody near the Kansas City area, because we never went far. Like, I grew up in Nebraska, so we went to surrounding states for like a long weekend when we were kids. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kansas City, worlds and oceans of fun. It's like a smaller version. Have you guys even heard of that? Worlds of Fun? Oceans of Fun?
Sounds great.
Water park and then a theme park.
Oh, I love water parks. I think they're great.
That's what we did.
I love fairs too and stuff. So yeah, it's what I mean. Design it's not necessarily worth it. It's a lot of headache and money. I agree. Okay.
We are very chatty this episode. I think we've gone
great.
Like a minute of
miss each other. Well, people are still watching us live, so that's a good sign. So we have a board our listener. Hopefully, people enjoy it. But like we said, when this is over, it's over. So I don't know. Maybe subconsciously we know that. Have you ever been to Disneyland, Robert?
You make it sound like everybody has. I know you can't tell by the way I look, but I ain't like the other kids around here.
What does that mean, though?
There is like a saying, like not like other girls, and I think there's like a subreddit called that.
Oh, really?
Women who try and say they're not like other women, but like they're kind of toxic and like try to be like special.
Oh,
I mean, that's what she's saying.
It's kind of like a nice guy. It's like I'm one of that type of thing, but it's like
that's what I think she's saying is I'm not crass, I'm not a bully per se, or I'm a nice girl. I'm not like because she's trying to again relate to Robert, who seems like a nice boy. She's not a scary girl. She's someone that he would be comfortable with. But she's definitely interested in Robert, and Robert's not appalled by the idea of like he sees her and he's like, oh, it's a friend. Somebody's actually talking to me.
I think that's the biggest thing, to be honest. Part of them didn't want to talk to her because she looked like she scammed him, because she's the one who initially approached him and drew him in. And then he got his coat taken. He probably just doesn't have a choice. You know, it's also a girl who's like nice looking. Plus, it's like, who else is talking to me? Like, I got to make friends somehow. So it's like, I'm kind of on sale at the moment. You can swoop in and be my friend because he's
like still a little reluctant. Like he's engaging with her, but not overly so.
He has negative body language. Like he's keeping his distance from her. He's often like looking at the wall and not making eye contact. He's giving like fairly short responses to her questions.
Why? I mean, what makes you so different? I don't know. I guess it's because I want to get out. You know how it is. You know, for an Italian kid, You ain't got a bad butt.
And there's Sly is filming. All right, cut. Great delivery, Jewel. Great delivery on my son's ass.
I hear that. I think she sees Robert as her way out. She's like, "Oh, new kid. He's not around here. I don't like it here. I'm gonna glob onto him." And I think the butt thing was Sly's insecurity about his own butt.
That should be a trivia question. When has Sly shown his ass? In what movies? Go.
Well, it's interesting because he doesn't have
I know.
Doesn't really have a butt like naturally. You know, some people just like more naturally. Like Carl Weathers just naturally has more of a butt than Sly does. So I don't know if that's. Yeah, he's more. I don't know if that's an Italian thing.
Gino, how's your ass?
If you could measure for us, Gino, that would.
Gino,
be good.
a picture, description. Let us know.
Yeah.
Katie wants to know, Gino, how is your butt? Let us know.
Yeah, I am into butts.
Any female listeners, you also could send pictures.
That's right.
If you want.
Italian, otherwise, send us your body part.
We're not picky here. For some reason, the sound she makes before that, she's like, like that. It just gets me. Like, there's just something about her voice and the way she goes, like, like really loud, like that.
He's also not wearing pants where you can really tell.
Yeah. I don't know what you look for in a butt for women. Look for in a butt for a man, but it's.
You think my butt's good? Wait till you check out my Italian sausage.
Oh,
Pretty good, Ryan. That's pretty good.
And then it's all right. So Donald's answered the question. The Specialist, Party Kitty and Studs. There's more. There's more.
This one.
This film. Rocky
Lock up.
V.
Lock up. Stop or my mom will shoot.
He's wearing a diaper. He didn't show his butt.
They didn't show him in the shower.
Oh, there was a bit of. That's right. There was a little bit of blur at the bottom there in the shower with his mom.
The
You're
Specialist.
Right. The Specialist, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I have it. It's gone now.
No, but he
Tango Cash.
Yeah,
That's right.
definitely. That's the
big one.
That's a good one. He worked on it. Naturally, he doesn't have big glutes, but he worked on it. And I mean, I would show it off too if I really worked on my body like that.
Go, come on.
A train.
We are going to end it here. I know it's kind of funny because we're going to be recording in a week. This is a big scene coming up, and I don't want to rush it. So we will stop here with a lot of fun discussions today because this next scene is big. There's a huge deleted scene that I don't want to rush.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone know what it is? What the tease is? Does anyone?
I don't.
Okay. Do you want me to tease it, or do you want me to surprise you?
Tease.
Okay. You know how in part 6 we have the character Little Marie.
Oh, I've seen this.
I've heard about it, but I've not seen it.
She is fucking rough in this scene.
Hey, easy.
You can edit that. All right.
Is it the same girl? The same actress?
It is.
Ooh,
It is.
okay.
Oh my god! I remember watching that and being like, "Yeah, they definitely should have cut this one out."
But it's an interesting scene all the same, and they really play with it actually. So we will not rush it. We're kind of ending a little bit short per se. We'll have our trivia answers because I don't want to rush it. That will probably be the whole episode next scene or next. It will be that discussion because it's a pretty long deleted scene. Then it ends with like this clip or this video file that I have ready. And it ends with the invitation to the supper. Okay, let's get our trivia answers. You ready? So the only one that Katie you weren't sure was the first one. Well, I guess we'll start with that one.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Madame.
Madame who?
Madame Foot's caught in the door.
That's right.
I put Madame Head Hurts.
That's not bad.
You got the general punch.
That's right.
Of it.
You got the
Damn
idea of it. Madame it. Oh, Katie. All right. Who is dressed as Santa?
Paulie.
Paulie.
And for bonus points, Mickey.
That's right. Mickey in part 3, which a lot of people don't know.
I didn't know that. I think, was that a previous trivia question?
That was just us breaking down that scene by scene.
Yeah, I remember getting that wrong, thinking it was Rocky, but it was really Mickey.
Yeah, a lot of people think it was Rocky, but it was Mickey because Mickey lived at the mansion.
I still screwed it up. If we would have done that as a question, Katie would have got it. And I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Kyle, say again, who says I'm better than Balboa ever was?
I bet Balboa ever was. Kane.
That's pretty good.
Oh, my goodness. Who did Rocky say a fighter's best friend is? I said Frankie Fear. Oh, good.
Yep.
Frankie Fear.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, this threw me off. When I looked at the answer, I thought I was looking at the wrong answers.
I'm like, shit, did I get it wrong?
Okay, so
there's more than one. So yes, we'll accept.
Yes, I just want to accept all of them.
The question should be, and of course, remember, Rocco was 10 years old when he did this. It should be, what are one of the nicknames? Because there is more than one in the press. Okay, so.
Okay, I have 2 then.
Do you want a chance to change your answer before we reveal?
Well,
it says, what did the press give Tommy?
We'll give you a chance to put your answer down for that because, like, you shouldn't get one wrong because the interpretation of the question.
I agree. So again, this what nickname did the press? I'll give you hints. Like it's not nice. They gave a
The press are such assholes in this movie.
Yeah. A redhead in the front. Yeah. Okay.
Can't believe he said that. I really liked him before that. Stu Nahan, I think, said that. I always mix up Bill Baldwin or Stu Nahan. It's one of those two.
I don't think it was one of those guys.
It was for sure.
Was it?
For sure.
Boy.
Yes, I'm willing to bet.
Well, there's several, right? Now that I'm thinking about it.
It's the same guy at the beginning of the film who says, "Answer now, not later."
No, it wasn't that guy. I don't think. Okay, well, we'll see. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that thing earlier today about like the dinner time thing. So maybe I'm wrong about that too. But
like, I don't think they would have done that.
I think they did. And it hurt me. It hurt my feelings.
Well, maybe you'll have your feelings rectified. You'll probably be happy.
Maybe, yeah. That'd be my Christmas present.
Well, no, by then it's going to be Easter
Christmas,
by the time we get. Okay, so what do you have, Katie? What's your answer?
Well, I put 3.
Well, you got to pick.
You got to pick one.
Oh crap! Okay, Rocky's either robot or puppet.
Rocky's robot. That is one.
Yep. That is one. That's the one I used. So
Okay.
Oh, I put the Clone Ranger.
That was the answer Rocco gave.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that one at
I
all.
fucking loved that nickname, the Clone Ranger. That's like really clever.
That is good. I don't remember that. I also was thinking,
it Rocky's robot or Rocky's puppet? I can't remember. I think it was his puppet.
Rocky's robot was one.
Didn't they also say like Balboa's boy or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, that was a fun episode, guys. I hope people enjoyed our discussions. Like I said, we missed a week.
Oh,
I only got 4 because I got the
5.
first one wrong.
Oh, I'm now in the lead. This is exciting.
Wow.
I got 195. Katie has 194. And Ryan has 190.
I don't like being a B student. I don't like this.
It's because you're on drugs, Katie. That's why. Don't do drugs.
No, I've been terrible this whole time. I'm like, feel sorry for me. I'm dumb. My brain doesn't work.
Oh, stop.
I've got brain damage.
No. I don't see any, Katie.
I fear the effects are irreversible, Katie.
They are.
You probably shouldn't podcast anymore. Is it about time you think about retiring?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, guys, this was a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone who's watching. This episode is over.
I didn't hear no bell.
I just want to say one